All right, let's see where we are here. If I got the right adjustment, I think I got the positioning. Looks like I got it. Looks like I got it right. Okay, so let me just move back. And it looks like the day has just shifted into night. Go a little bit further back. How about so there? No, maybe a little bit further back than that. Okay. So let's just get right into it. Let's jump right into it. So bringing our hands onto our knees in the Sukhasana pose. So we're in Sukhasana. Let's bring our attention to the fingers on the knees. Fingers touching, index finger, middle finger, and thumb. All fingers touching each other, feel that connection. And at the same time, we're going to roll the shoulders back. And as we do so, we're going to straighten through the small of the back and the lower back. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the mind, relaxing the body totally. And breathe. If you see thoughts that start to come into the mind, we call it the monkey mind. Let the thoughts go through, observe the thoughts, and bring your mind back to this. Bring your mind back to the moment. So if your thought starts to run away from you, then bring the thoughts back to the moment. Get back into the flow. Remember, we don't have tomorrow, we don't have yesterday, we don't have an hour from now, we don't have 1 hour ago. We only have this very moment right here in the now. And this time that's happening in space and time, that's interconnected to every time and place in the future and in the past. Everything is all connected and happening at once. Everything in time, all connected. Everything. So let's just continue to breathe. Deep breath. Exhale out. Deep breath. And exhale out. Deep breath. Exhale. Hands up. Hands down. Okay, so I'm just going to tell a story, and you can choose to either listen or just continue meditating and staying in the moment and keeping the mind clear from all thoughts that come in. If you wish to just tune me out, then just pay attention to your breath and your fingers, or you can listen to the story. So do whatever you want to do. So in yoga, we call that adopt, adjust, accommodate. Getting in the moment, in the flow, exactly where we are. We stay here. This is all we have right now. Continue the breath. Okay, so I'm going to tell this story. So about 20 odd years ago, I went back to a place called Quebec, Canada, which is kind of near Montreal. If you've ever been back to that part of the world, it's connected to the United States, a little bit north of, I'd say, Maine. So Montreal connects to Val Morin, Quebec. So I took the plane at that time, and that was one of my 2 teacher trainings. The other teacher training was with Doug Swenson, which was up in South Lake Tahoe, about 2 years before that. So this was a 30-day sadhana, which I lived in a tent up in the Laurentian woods. We had a choice of either living in the dormitory or the tent, so I chose the tent. So it was very interesting, raining and thunder at night, very interesting situation. So, luckily my tent didn't break. And that was what the probably the most prevalent thing that I wondered about. What if I come back and it rains at night and then I have a big rip in my tent, so I'm going to have to fix that the next day, and or even get a new tent, whatever. So night after night, and some nights were just beautiful. Other nights it was raining and thunder and lightning and all kinds of things. And so it was really, the whole thing was like a fairy tale, and I'll tell more about it at a future date, or I might tell about my other teacher training, which was up in South Lake Tahoe with Doug Swenson. Many of you might know who he is. His brother was Dave Swenson, a famous Ashtanga yoga teacher. Doug Swenson was just one of the finest yoga teachers that I've ever come across. So that was an Ashtanga, sometimes they call it power yoga. Anyways, so in the teacher training in Val Morin Quebec, they had what they call work. Every day, all the aspirants, the students, would have to go through they'd have to work every day. They assigned different jobs to different people, depending on what their abilities were. The swamis intuitively would figure out what that person needed to do, what that person needed to do, based on what they felt in their intuition within their spirit. So they assigned different jobs to different people. My job was to be a construction worker, like a laborer. Some people had jobs in the kitchen, some people had jobs in the gift shop, or maybe at the coffee counter selling food and coffee and hot chocolate and what have we. So anyway, but they came up with the determination that they were going to put me in the construction. So most of the days we worked every single day. It was usually like an hour in the morning, like around I'd say it was like around 11:30, kind of midday. In these teacher trainings and in the yoga philosophy, we don't have lunch. We just have breakfast, usually at 8:30, and then we have dinner at 4:30. And then we give the body about 16 hours to digest the food. It's called proper digestion. So during the middle of the day is when we had all of our activities, and then the yoga class, which was on the platform, a big wooden platform, in the afternoon at 4:30. So one day my job was to pick up these big rocks on the roof, and these are big heavy rocks. And one particular day, we had to kind of throw the rocks down and they wanted to take all the rocks off of the roof and get them down onto the ground. So I picked up this one rock, which was really heavy, and there was like about 85 wasps, black wasp. I don't know what kind of species they were, but they were very, let's say, stingable. I will say they're, the wasp that can really sting you. So imagine getting stung. This happens. This is one thing that I remember, and there are many other things, and maybe I'll get to them later in future videos. But so getting stung by all these wasps at the same time. So I hardly even felt it. It was like almost just like I felt the sensation on my back, on my, my shoulders, and on my chest and on my stomach. I was just stung all over, and it was incredible. I didn't know if I was allergic because I'd never been stung by those type of wasps before. I've been stung by bees, so I had no idea what was going to happen. So right away I went down to the nurse's room, and then at which time they proceeded to treat me, and everything was cool, and I was okay after that. They said you can go back to work. Well, of course there was no work left that day because everybody had all finished, and so it was on to the midday activities, which is usually volleyball or swimming or something like that. And so this was a heavy experience. There was many other experiences. This whole thing was like a fairy tale, and I'll get into more of that later. But this was just one experience that I was kind of brought back to me tonight. I just started thinking about it. So anyway, let's close out now, and I'll be back tomorrow night with a message. I don't know what it's going to be yet at this point, but probably sometime tomorrow night. So let's just bring our hands to our knees and take a few breaths. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Another breath in. And another breath out. Bring the hands up, 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 reach toward the sky, press your hands together, really energize the body, feeling that flow of energy coming through the fingertips, press your hands together. Let that energy come from the sky, harness that energy, feel it coming down through the arms, clearing the channel all the way through the solar plexus, down through the Anahata chakra, down through the Manipura chakra, down to all the way to the groin, all the way down to the base chakra. Now you feel your sit bones, all that energy clearing that whole channel throughout the body. Bring the hands back onto the knees and let it all out. Exhale. Let's close. Bosat Guru Sivananda Maharaja Ki. Bosat Guru Vishnu Devananda Maharaja Ki. Cha. Peace. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow night.